Now, this was a piece of news that broke just yesterday, but the Transformers Slag podcast takes Sundays off. We had an amazing live stream on Saturday night. We had some Hasbro people come down. It was a fantastic live stream. Thanks for all the love and support and those super chats that we got. Really good stuff, good discussions. Always love it when we have our Saturday night live streams. I hope to see you guys again next week. And this news broke, I want to say about lunchtime yesterday on Sunday, and we were resting our bones here at the podcast. But let's talk about it today. And these were some Walmart and Target listings, specifically UPC and EAN codes that showed up within their computer database and was quickly reported by both JT Prime 17 and Mr. Chaos around the same time, both of them monitoring the computer archives and seeing what's the latest entries that are put in for future retail product. And it kind of relates to what we reported here on the podcast back in June of 2022 when we were covering a whole bunch of listings for Legacy Year 2 product for 2023, and we had a listing for a Leader Class Skyquake. And when we had that listing for Leader Class Skyquake, it was vague if it was it the original UK Generation 1 character? Is it the, is it the Transformers Prime character? It's a Leader Class, so judging by what molds existed previously, it's probably not going to be some kind of repaint, retool of the Galvatron, the Laser Optimus Prime, the Blitzwing, or the Megatron that we have at this point. So it's probably going to be something that's a brand new sculpt. What could it potentially be? And people were speculating it's probably going to be Transformers Prime because there's such a lean on Transformers Prime, but there was nothing that was really concrete. Now we have a listing today, a brand new EAN code for a Transformers Generations Legacy Leader Class Prime, and there's an emphasis on it, Prime Dreadwing. Now, this is important because the character of Dreadwing in Prime and a Skyquake trademark are both connected as repaint brothers in that legacy of that brand. For people that aren't aware, in the Transformers Prime cartoon, we had both a Skyquake and a Dreadwing that were two animation models that shared the same design and were different due to color schemes. They were brothers in the show, and even when it came to toy releases, they also had that same kind of sharing of the molds across their Voyager classes. Now, what's important about this is if these are legitimately those characters, if we are going to be getting a Leader Class Transformers Prime Skyquake and a Leader Class Transformers Prime Dreadwing, this is fantastic news, considering that the original toys were absolutely brutal when it came to releases. When you look at the Voyager class Dreadwing, that was a Transformers Robots in the Skies Wave 3 release, late in the brand, pretty much. There was a product imprint refresh when Ultra Magnus and Thundertron came around, but Dreadwing just had this terrible distribution in his Voyager class, and not many people got him. What ended up happening was a lot of people opted for getting the Arms Micron version. They got like a Japanese version that was released afterwards through Takara Tomy, and that one was way better, much more accurate in terms of the color schemes, and people kind of went that direction. But as a result, the importing of the Japanese one, or even getting the original Voyager class from 2012 in the Western world, it led to this figure conflating in price. And today goes for easy like $110 to $120 today, just because of how difficult he was to get. And then you add to the fact that his repaint brother of Skyquake was a Wave 5 release right at the tail end of Transformers Prime as a line before going into the Beast Hunters stuff. He practically was non-existent in retail. A few of them got out there, the few retailers that actually decided to order cases of Wave 5 Voyagers, which, by the way, he was a solid case of 4 of them. So while there would be a lot of them if you bought a whole bunch of cases, a lot of times these retailers, it's Wave 5, it's on its way out, there's going to be Beast Hunters product, a new imprint. Why are we going to order more of this old imprint? Let's get this new product out there. And so Skyquake had a very light to limited retail release, and not many of them out there. And today, you could go on eBay today. He's loose complete. We're talking $139, $150. It's absolutely nuts. Now, granted, there's other other scales of that character, so a lot of people have bought, that little, I guess we'll call it the Cyberverse. That's what they called it back then. But their Legend scale, the core class, whatever you want to call it, they had that equivalency back then. And so a lot of people, if they had a Dreadwing in their collection or a Skyquake, it probably was those smaller price points. Or the Beast Hunters one, which was a million times more common. I believe that was a deluxe class. So this is really good because it gives people another opportunity to pick up a updated version of that character, and hopefully, if it's the second year in an early wave, way more plentiful in the retail market. So let's hope that that's the case. But I mean, I just hope that it looks good too. That's another problem also, is sometimes these Transformer Prime characters have been kind of hit or miss when it comes to their aesthetic within the Legacy line. They want to have that shared kind of look. So if people are expecting something that's a one-for-one, representation of the original Dreadwing character, which turned into, if I remember correctly, I think he was a Lockheed Martin F-35. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I think he was a Lockheed Martin. So I don't think they're going to really, stay true to that. They're probably going to do some kind of different interpretation to have a backdoor into repaints and retools. Granted, there already is one baked in right here. You're going to get a Dreadwing, you're going to get a Skyquake. You're going to get a Skyquake, you're going to get a Dreadwing. Whoever does come first out, which I think it's going to be the Skyquake. But, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I just hope it turns out well. It gives people an opportunity who don't own versions of those characters due to an insane secondary market retail pricing. Gives them a retail environment here that hopefully you can pick it up. Granted, it's leader class. It's going to be pricey, but at least it's not, $110 to $135 that an eBay will give you for those original figures. So at least character representation is there. But that's a whole other story. Personally me, and granted, it's not the best decision, but if they wanted to visit those characters and keep those trademarks, I think fans would appreciate more probably a Generation Selects reissue of those two, maybe even a 2-pack of the two Voyagers back then, as the Bash Brothers. I don't know what you would want to call it, but at least you'd have those two trademarks out there. But I know that they do want to fill out that leader class price point. They got to put something there for that Legacy leader class price point, and I guess they're more happy with tooling something brand new from the ground up of these two Transformer Prime characters than just reissuing those old toys like they've done in the past. I don't know what the success was on those other Transformer Prime reissues, like the War Breakdown and the Megatron, but I know Hasbro, usually when something does well, they do it again and again, and maybe these ones didn't sell as well, and as a result, they're better off just making new product. Let me know what you think, guys. Very interesting otherwise. You know what? There's a lot of Transformer Prime characters in Legacy. There's a lot of Armada characters that are supposedly teased for the future of Legacy in 2023. So let's see what the future is going to bring, but it's looking kind of interesting thus far for this line in 2023.